Guys, I'll be back in a minute. Give me a minute time. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys, we'll move on. Ah, so today we are going to see how we can establish communication or how we can establish connection between your application server and the data source. Uh, that means database. Okay. Isn't that we will see how to create JDBC providers, and we'll learn how to create data source. Okay, and we'll see. Okay. So in today's agenda, we will see how to create JDBC providers and what is JDBC providers and what is data source and how you can install Oracle database. But this in the real time, you will not gonna do this step 3, but this is our test labs, right? We should build the environment. So due to that reason, we are going to install our own database. But in the real time environment, you will have the dedicated database team who can manage these activities. Like how we are managing our web sphere, right? In a similar lines, there will be a separate team who gonna take care about your databases. Okay. So you should aware what is required to create the data source. So due to that reason, we are going to install this Oracle database. Okay. So as of now you have WebSphere application server, right? So like the similar way, there will be one more server called database server who manages the database. Okay, and the database team will manage those database servers, and in on that server they will install one database. Okay, they will install one database. For example, you can treat this as your database. This is your DB server. This is your Oracle database. And in your environment you have DMGR, you have application server profile 1, and you have application server profile 2, and you have application server profile 3 also. Correct. This is your environment. Okay, see, currently I have this environment. Currently I have this environment. I don't have the Oracle database installed on my server. Okay, here I have specified like this is a DB server, separate server. In the real-time environment, you will have dedicated database servers. Okay, but in our environment, okay, I'm going to install my database on my laptop itself. So to install that, first you need to get the software. Okay, first you need to get the software. See, this is the executable file. This is the exe file. You can see this is a Oracle 10G setup. So this is your database setup. So what is meant by database means the place where you can store your database is called, that means the place where you can store your data is called database. That means all the user specific data, application related data, everything will be stored in your database. Okay, for example, you will try to log in to the Amazon portal, or you will try to log in Facebook, you will try to log in, or you will try to access Flipkart application. Okay, you can see if you log into this, you can see all these images, right? You can see all these images. If you log in, okay, you will be logged in with the username and password. You can see your orders. You can generate the invoices. Where all this will be stored? This all the data related to this application will be stored in the database. So that's why for each and every application will have its own dedicated database. Okay, how middleware product is important to run the application. To store the data, it's a equal priority to have the dedicated database server also. And they can use their whatever their requirement, they can use their own databases. In the market, they will get plenty of databases. But majorly Oracle has occupied more projects when compared to other databases. Why? Because Oracle, how they will sell the product now, Java is owned by Oracle. So to procure the Java license, they have to procure the license from Oracle. To design the application, to build the application, if they'll use Java language. And to run that Java, they require some middleware product. That middleware product they will sell WebLogic. They have their own application server like WebSphere. That is called WebLogic. And they will insist the client to procure the database license also. But major of the databases were used by Oracle only. And how this Oracle will offer to the clients means you can take all the license together, you can procure all the license together. I'll give you a good deal. If you go one by one, the cost will be high. If you club and if you go in a single shot, I'll give you a good discount. So they will give such offers, and each and every client will prefer to take that. Okay. So coming back to the points which we are discussing. So now we are going to install the WebSphere. Sorry, we are going to install the Oracle software. So before that, let me check. So in my system, any Oracle database has been installed or not. So if I install, I have to delete it. Okay. It's already installed. What I'll do, I'll uninstall it. So I'm uninstalling it. Okay, before we need to install, before I need to show how to install, I need to uninstall the one which I already installed in my laptop. Okay, see, Oracle has been installed. So what I'm doing now, I'm trying to install Oracle database. Okay, same process. Right click, run as administrator. Okay, click on S. You will get a pop-up. Click on S. So then you will get one installation wizard will get open. So in that you need to select the options to get this installed, and it will ask to provide few username and password details that we need to provide. So then we can install the Oracle database. What happened? Failed to complete the installation process. Okay. Maybe the old references were maybe getting reflected. For that, I need to take restart of my system. Okay, as of now we can park this installation and we can move on to other WebSphere configurations. Then I need to restart my PC to install this Oracle. Then I'll take it later. Okay, and coming back. So first we will learn how to create JDBC provider and how to create data source. Then we will move on to the installation process of the Oracle. Okay. See, to establish connection between your WebSphere application server and the Oracle database, to establish communication between these, you have to create data source. You have to create data source. Where you need to create data source, you need to create the data source on top of your WebSphere by using admin console. Okay, and there is a prerequisite here. To create data source in the WebSphere application server, you need to create JDBC provider. Okay, you need to create JDBC providers. First, you need to create JDBC provider. Then, then you need to create data source. While creating the data source, you need to specify the database information. So that information you will get it from the database team. So here we are installing our own database in our laptop. Due to that reason, we'll have all the details. We'll get to know while installing, and we will prompt all the details while creating the data source, and we will do the configuration. So no worries. What are all the details required that we will see slowly. Okay, but definition wise, you should be aware what is JDBC provider. See, JDBC provider is nothing but it's a Java database connectivity. What it will do means JDBC is nothing but one of the Java API. Okay, so what it will do, it will establish communication or connectivity to the database, as I already mentioned. So what it contains, we will see. So how simplify we can define means it specifies what database you are going to use. That means your JDBC provider specifies what database you are going to use and what is the implementation type and what are the drivers you are going to use. All specific to your database information. this JDBC provider will specify. Okay, so that practically I'll show you. So no worries, practically I'll show you. So what are all it will specify you to provide the details, the console. For that you need to log into your console. See here, go to resources. Once you logged into the DMGR console, go to resources, expand this resources, expand JDBC providers, expand JDBC, click on JDBC providers. Okay. Once you have clicked on JDBC providers, here, here you will get an option to select the scope. This is nothing but the scope. This one. This is nothing but the scope. You can see all scopes. You can see cell. You can see node. You can see server voices. So that means where you want to create your JDBC providers, you have to specify under scope. You want to create your JDBC provider under this cell. For example, in this server you will have one cell, right? So sorry. In this server you will have one cell, right? Inside cell you will have node. Inside node you will have server. Correct? So where you want to create, whether you want to create under cell, you want to create the JDBC provider under node, you want to create under the server, you have to specify by selecting the scope. By selecting the scope. See here, you can see if you want to create the JDBC provider under cell level, you can select this option. Okay, if you want to create under node level, you can create under node. If you want to create under server level, you can select that server. If you select this server, only this server can access to that JDBC providers. Okay, if you can create under node, how many, if you have 4 servers under this node, all 4 servers will have access to that JDBC provider. Like in the similar way also, if you create under cell, what are all the nodes available under this cell will have access to that JDBC providers.
Gautam, can you repeat once again? I'm a bit
Yeah, no
confused here.
worry.
Yeah.
No worry. No. See, again I'm repeating. If you are creating, if you are creating the JDBC's provider under cell, if you select the scope of, for example, if you select the scope of cell under this cell, I'll show you in this diagram. This is the cell, right? This is the cell, and this is the node, and this is the server. Okay. See, if I create JDBC providers on top of this cell, for example, on top of this cell, who are all can access this one? Node can access that JDBC provider. Even server can access the JDBC provider. Correct? If you create, if you create your JDBC provider under this node, who can access under this node? Who is available? Server can access, either node can access, but the cell level, if you have another node, it cannot be accessed. Like in the similar way, if you create the JDBC provider under this server, under this server, here you are mapping only one server. If if under this node, if you have 4 servers, for example, server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4, you have 4 servers under this node. Under this node you have 4 servers, but you have selected only to create under server 1. That means server 2, server 3, server 4 can't access the JDBC provider. Okay, here you can see while selecting the server, it is specifying the server name. If you create under server 1, only server 1 can access the JDBC provider. All the time we suggest you to go with the node level. Or if for example, if you have clustered, you can go with a clustered level. But 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 you should ask your developer or your application team. So where are on which applications, on which servers. So sorry, my mistake. You should ask your developer on which application you have used the data source and that application where you deployed. If you deployed on multiple servers on the same node, you have to create the JDBC provider on the same node. For example, you have an application, maybe you will get confused. I'll remove this everything. I'll remove this everything. Okay. So for example, this is your web sphere and this is your DMGR. Okay. And this is your application server profile. For example, okay, on this top you have one cell. I'll give you clarity. Clearly, I'll explain. This is your app server 01 profile. On this, you will have cell. Okay. On this, you have one node. For example, okay. Under this node, what you have done, you have created, you have created 4 servers. Server one, for example, it's S1, server two, server three, and server four. Okay. So you have 4 servers. That means 4 JVMs you are having on this node. Okay, but you have deployed the same application on all 4 JVMs. For example, that application name is app1. The same application you have deployed here. The same application we have deployed. This scenario we have seen yesterday, right? On all the servers we have deployed the same application and we have access to the same application. Okay, the same scenario I'm taking here. So, okay. So what you have done now, you have created one JDBC provider on by selecting an option as server one. That means you have created the JDBC providers on top of the server one. So that means you have created JDBC provider. For example, the name is JDBC one. You have created JDBC provider on top of this by selecting the scope as server one. And on top of the JDBC provider, as per the process, we need to create the data source. That data source name is, for example, D1. Okay, who will give this data source name is your developer will give the data source name to create a data source name with this name. Why? Because your developer, while developing the application, whenever they want to connect to the database, they will specify the data source name in their code. That means they will hard code it, the data source name in their logic, in their application logic. Okay. So what will happen in this scenario? If you create JDBC providers or if you create data source on top of this server or against this server, only this server will have access to this JDBC providers. Your server 2, your server 3, your server 4 can't access this JDBC provider or this data source. Why? Because you have created on top of this server only. So, but you have deployed the same application on all 4 servers. What will happen? Server 2, server 3, server 4 can't access this D1. And in the application, the developer has written a code to connect the data source by using this name. It will try to fetch in the configuration in this configuration, but it couldn't see that this data source is not available. That that means the application will only work on this server. This on remaining these three servers it won't work. Okay, if you select to create under the node, if you create the JDBC providers under this node, you'll have four servers. Remove this one. Under this node you will have four servers, four JVMs. So you have created the JDBC provider and you have created the data source. What will happen? This S1 can access this JDBC provider and this data source. Server 2 can access, server 3 can access, server 4 can access. Why? Because this has been created on top of the node, and under node you will have the servers, correct? So that means what are the servers available under that node will have access to this data source. In a similar way also, if you create under cell level, okay, what are the nodes available and what are the servers available, all will get access to this data source. Clear? Now your doubts could have cleared in a better. I feel better.
Yes, yes, Gautam. Better.
Okay. Okay, see, I am selecting the node. What is the node? I'm selecting node 12. So that means only node 12 will have access to that. You can select node 13, you can select node 14, you can select, if you select all scope, all the profiles will have access. All scope, if you select, it will cover this cell profile. This cell belongs to 08 belongs to which profile? This belongs to, for example, application server profile means this will have access, and this cell profile will have access. Enter all the federated application server profiles will have access if you select all scope. Okay. So what I am doing now, I'll select this node 12 profile I'm creating on top of one server. Okay, if I select the scope, I'll get a new option here. This one is a by default one, you just ignore it. Click on new, click on new. To create data source, first you need to create JDBC providers. Okay, and what it contains means it specifies to select which database you are going to use. As per the earlier screenshot, I said I'm going to install Oracle database, right? So you need to select Oracle database here. If your client has opted for DB2, you have to select DB2. If your client is procured SQL Server as your database, you have to select that option. But majority of the applications were on top of Oracle, you just select Oracle option. So as per the definition, as I said, the JDBC providers will specify the database type, first one. The second one, provider type. The third one, implementation type. Okay. And what is the provider type? You can select the JDBC, Oracle JDBC driver. See, like how you have installed drivers to your laptop when you change your OS. If you install your keyboard driver, then only keyboard will establish communication with your OS, right? In a similar lines, whenever you are trying to create the JDBC providers, you have to select the provider type also. This provider type by default you will get one drive, that is Oracle JDBC driver, which helps to establish connection with your database. That driver you need to select. So that is called provider type. And implementation type, here you will have two options. One is connection pool data source and another one is XA data source. So this based upon your client or based upon your developer requirement, you have to select this option. Okay. So based upon the developer, how they developed their application, and upon to that their requirement, you have to select this option. So what will happen if you select connection pool data source? Theoretically, what will happen? I'll explain. Okay, it will allow only single phase commit. Theoretically, by the definition wise, connection pool data source supports only single phase commit, but XA data source supports two-way commits. So what? I'll give one example. For example, if you went to the any supermarket and you have purchased some groceries over there. So when you go for the billing, what they will do, they will scan all the groceries which you have brought, and they will generate the bill, right? Once they click done, what will happen? What are all the groceries you have brought over there? All the details will be updated to the database. Once the data has been updated, that means once the database has been committed means saved. Once your database has been committed, you will get a bill. That means your job has been completed. That means it will not depend on any other jobs to be completed. Once your database has been committed, it will not wait for further jobs to be completed, or there should not be any dependency on any other to complete that job. So that process is called as an one way commit, single phase commit. If you select that this one connection pool data source, it will not depend on any other jobs to be completed. Once once the database has been committed, that job will be completed. It will not That's why I am saying that it will only supports one way commit. When you select exit data source, what will happen? I'll give one more example. It will support two-way commit. What is meant by two-way commit? I'll give an example. You can understand better. So you will go every day you'll go for ATM, right? To get some money, correct? So when you went there, what will happen? You will withdraw. For example, if you have withdrawn 500 rupees amount, okay? If you withdraw 500 rupees amount, what will happen? The first the database which is available in that location will get updated that you have withdrawn 500 rupees. Okay, once that local database updated, this job will not be completed. It will still on hold till one more job has to be executed. Till that time it will be on hold. What is that job? The same request has to be updated in the data center which is available in on Mumbai. For example, your data center is on Mumbai, or I can say the local database as well as a master database which is available under Mumbai. For example, if you withdraw 500 rupees, the first it will be updated that you have withdrawn 500 rupees in the local database. Once that job is done, one more job will get triggered, and it has to be the same request has to be updated in the master database. If both places has been updated successfully, then only the job will get completed. That means the two ways it has to be updated. Either if any way it got failed, the job will be stating as not completed, and you will get an error that your withdrawal is failed. So that means it will be dependent on other job to be completed, then only that job will get completed. This call it as an two-way commit. So while developer writing their code, what they will do based upon the requirement, they will build the logic behind that. If that data source required two-way commit, They will ask to select XA data source explicitly. They will give a request. While building the environment only such request will come. Okay. You can select anyone as is a test labs. Okay, you can select anyone. Okay. You can give your JDBC provider name. As I mentioned, you can give JDBC1. Okay. So I'm creating JDBC1. You can see the scope. The scope I have selected it as a server 1 under node 12. Okay. Click on next. Click on next. See the second step, you can see enter database class path information. Class path information. You can see here to connect to your database, it required one class path. It required one jar file. Okay, that jar file you have to keep it in your server where you have installed your WebSphere, and you have to specify that location. See, my WebSphere has been installed on my laptop, right? So I need to specify the jar file location, and my jar file is available under D drive. You can see that jar file under D drive. You can see the jar file ojdbc6.jar. ojdbc6.jar. So I'm giving the path here d colon slash. So it is looking for ojdbc6.jar. This jar is available here. I'm giving only the path. I'm not giving the absolute path. Click on next. Click on finish. Review.
Gautam, why we are not giving a full path? Means that will create a folder in that J drive.
No, no, no. See, that's what. Okay. If you can, once I'll explain you. Once I'll save it. Click on save. See, when you are creating this file, this JDBC provider, variable.xml file will get updated. So click on OK. I'll go back and I'll show you. See, click here. If you come and see here, it is showing the class path. So it is specifically looking for this file only. So you need to only specify where this file, on which location this file is available. I
How
know
do we
which
get
file
to
I
know
am
that
looking.
the path? It's like, how do we get to know that path? In which
That's
folder it
what
is?
that's
Ah,
what I am saying. This jar file you need to get and you need to copy to the certain place in the server. This jar file won't get as a middleware product. Okay,
got
you
it.
need to get this ojdbc dot 6 dot jar from your database team.
Okay, got it.
Okay. I think okay, you should know where this file will be available, right? And how you will get this file. Correct? Your question is
Yes,
that only, no?
yes, yes.
Okay, got it. See, this file you will get it from your Oracle database team, or you will get it from your softwares. So why? Because we are doing it everyday basis, right? Somewhere or other way, your team will hold that, or they will keep you in the network drive, or they will keep this file in the what is it, repository, either in the Git repository or SVN repositories. Okay, but this file you have to place it, copy and paste to your installation path, then you have to give the location. So but I'm at this point of time I'm keeping the same on my D drive. I'm giving that location. Okay, so we have successfully created our JDBC provider. So click on that JDBC provider. Okay, so once you clicked on the JDBC provider, you can see an option here called data source. Click on the data source. Okay, once you clicked on the data source, you can see here I'm under JDBC providers. I'm inside the JDBC which I have created recently. In there I have selected data source. Now I'm going to create the data source on top of this JDBC provider. For that, click on new. For that, click on new. Okay, once you have selected this one, you can see the scope which I have selected while creating the JDBC providers, and you can see the JDBC provider name. And now I am specifying the name of my JDBC. Sorry, I am providing the name of my data source. What is the name of my data source? It's a D1. I'll give data source name as D1. Here you have to use some syntax here. In the prefix of your JNDA name, you have to use JDBC slash, then you have to give the data source name. What are the data source name you are giving on the top, that you have to give. In the prefix, you have to add JDBC slash. Okay, this is nothing but Jindy name, that is nothing but Java naming directory interface. Okay, I'll explain you what is this and what does this do while I'm explaining the concept request flow. Okay, in that request flow, I'll draw it the structure and I'll explain this one. Okay, click on next. Okay, so once you have selected, so here you need to specify the connection URL. This we can call it as a connection URL. So in this connection URL, you have some certain format you will have, so that you have to follow. So what it is, I'll explain you. Okay, you have to byhead this, no other option. Okay, so this is the prerequisite you to get the details before creating the database. Okay, as you know, this is a standard. The protocol, you have to use JDBC only. Why? Because this is nothing but Java database connectivity. JDBC stands for Java database. DB is a database. C is a connectivity. This is the protocol you have to use to connect to your database. And sub protocol is you are using Oracle, right, as a database. So that's why you have to give the sub protocol as Oracle. And the third one, you have to use type of the driver. So in the market, we'll have two types of drivers. Both drivers will be coming as part of your WebSphere. One is thick driver and one is thin driver. Okay, so you just recollect when you are creating your JDBC provider, you have selected the driver called Oracle driver, right? Implementation type, you have selected it as an Oracle. Sorry, what is that we have selected? You have selected Oracle. After that, you have selected provider type. See, this is the provider type. This is called Oracle JDBC driver, right? In this driver, okay, you have to use thick or thin, thick driver or thin driver. So what will happen to thick driver and thin driver means, if you select with thick driver, okay, that thick driver is not written in the Java code, but thin driver is written in the Java code. So that means whatever the request is coming, what are the requests were coming in the Java code for thick driver, it doesn't want any third party interface to understand that request. But if you select tick driver that is not written in the Java code, it required some third party intervention to convert that code into its understandable language. Then it will perform the job. So which is a time taking process and it is a burden. So that's why thick driver is not recommended. So we are all using thin drivers only. Why? Because this has been written in Java code. So that if the requests were or that this application request or whatever the requests were coming on top of Java, it doesn't require any third party intervention to read that to convert into the understandable language. So it already even this driver also written on the same language, so it will get mutually understand and it will hit to the database. Okay, that's why we all prefer thin driver. Okay, then you have to use your host name of the database. See, as I mentioned, your database will be installed on the new database server. You have to get that IP. Who will give this IP? Either your database team will give or your application team will give this IP, and you have to ask your database team or your application team to give the port number on which port number your database is running. Like in a similar way, our servers or application servers will run based upon the IPs, based upon the port numbers, right? We are accessing the application based upon the port number. We are accessing the admin console based upon the port number. Like the same way, in the similar lines, to access to your database or to connect to your database, you have to get the port number of your database. By standard or default port for Oracle is 1521. 1521 is a default port for Oracle database. And you have to get the service name. While installing, they will give one service name. This service name also you will get it from your application team or the development team. Sorry, Oracle team. Okay, this all three belongs to your database information. You need to get this information from your development team. Sorry, for you from your application team or from your database team, application team or from your database team. You should ensure this point. Okay, once you have all these details, you can prepare the connection URL. You can prepare the connection URL. And the format to create the connection URL is like this. Oh, okay, got gone. Okay, I'll create again. This we can call it as a connection URL. Okay, JDBC colon Oracle colon tin colon @ localhost colon 1521 port number of your database and the service name. So once you have these details, you'll prepare the URL in similar to this and paste it here. Okay, click on next. Okay, so it is asking to set up security aliases. At this point of time, you can allow to select none only. Okay, click on next, click on finish. Okay, you can click on review, expand this and see server resources.xml file will get updated. So when you create your data source, okay, resource.xml file will get updated. And when you create JDBC provider, resource.xml file and server server.xml file will get updated. Expand this, save. Sorry, you can select the sync changes, save. Okay, now what you have done, now you have created JDBC provider and you have created data source. Okay, see, for your database, okay, it is secured with the username and password. Okay, see, without having the username and password, you can't access your database. Why? Because all the data were been secured, or it is stored in your database, right? If someone has hacked your database, they can easily get the data. It's a user data, it's a sensitive data, correct? So so to overcome such scenarios, all your database will be secured with some username and password. Only authenticated users or authorized users can log into your database with the help of the username and password, and you can able to access. In a similar way, to connect to your data source, to connect to your database using this data source, you should have the database username and password. Who will have this database username and password? That you need to get it from your application team or from your database team. One more point, you just add it here. As I said, these three information you should get it from your database team. Like the same way, DB username and password, database username and password, you should be entered in this WebSphere console. So for that, go inside your data source, go inside your data source, click on related, go to the related items, click on JAS, J2C authentication data. Okay, here you need to prompt your username and password. Click on new, click on new, click on aliases, give the aliases name like D1 username, user and password. I'll mention like this. I'll mention like this. Aliases name is like a user friendly name for this password. You want to store the password or username, right? For that you are giving the friendly name. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. See, this username, user ID and password, whatever you will get it from your database team or from your application team, that you have to give it here. For example, the username is Gautam, the password is also Gautam. For example, you can prompt those details and click on apply. Now click on review, save the sync and save the changes. See, security.xml file will get updated. Click on save, click on OK. See now, the password which you have created has been changed. You can see in the end, you can see the name which you have given, D1 username password. Once you have created this J2C authentication, go back to the data source and you have to map this username and password to the data source which you have created. Okay. So for that, if you come down, you can see security settings. Under the security settings, you have to select, you have to map this component managed authenticated aliases with that username and password which you have created. Okay, the second one, mapping configuration aliases, is not required. Okay, select the container manager authenticated aliases, select that option. This first option and second option you should be selected with the username and password which you have created, and click on apply. Review, sync the changes. Now resource.xml file will get updated. Click on save. Okay, once your saved changes has been done, your database connectivity configuration has been completed. So you have created JDBC providers and you have created your data source. If your configurations all were or were created properly, if your database is in running state, you can test the connection by selecting this option. You can click on test connection. Once you click on test connection, if your database is in running state, if your username is correct, if your username is properly given here, if it is not invalid, you can connect to the data source at this point of time. At this point of time, see, it is showing that node agent is in down state. I'll start the node agent even though my database is not installed right due to some issue. So I can't connect to the database. Tomorrow's class, what I'll do, I'll install Oracle database and I'll create one new JDBC providers and I'll create another data source and we will do the test connection. Why? Because it's very lengthy process, but people may get confused. Again, I'll take one more session on the same concepts so that you will have more idea and you will feel easier. Okay. And any questions, you just write it somewhere in the tomorrow's class. Okay. Please put that questions to me so that I can clarify it. Okay.
Sure, Gautam.
Okay. Thanks guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gautam.
Bye. Thank you.
Gautam. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Raja.
Mahesh.
Yeah, Raja, please.
Yeah. Are you free now?
Yeah, please tell me.
Actually, I'm facing some issue. I'm not able to defederate as well. If you are free, then I will share my screen. We'll
Okay, please,
discuss.
Yeah, please share.
1 second. Actually, I told to Gautam, I think he's busy, looks like today.
Yeah, okay, Raj.
Uh, you were able to see, right, screen?
Yeah, I can able to see your screen. Right?
Okay. Mm, Actually, this is the DMGR1.
Yes, okay.
Okay, I have 3 application server profiles. Application server 1,
Yes,
2, and 3.
okay.
Let me open this one.
Right now,
You can see it.
uh, okay. No,
It looks like you.
which one you need to defederate? Tell me. I think you fix app 1 or app 2, app 3.
1 second. I will tell you exactly once I open these servers. See, actually,
Okay.
node 1, node 2, and node 3. 3 nodes I have here. Node 1 is belongs to application server 1. Node 2 belongs to
Correct,
application server 2. Node 3 belongs to
correct,
application server 3.
correct,
This
correct. Yes.
prof1 server I have created on node 1 and prof2 I have created on node 2. Now I'm trying to create one JVM on
Hmm.
node 3.
Yes, okay.
Okay, I'm facing what the issue I'm facing is, let's see. I'm creating here at node
Yeah,
3.
yeah. Mhm.
This is node 3 I have selected here.
Correct,
Proof 3 I think already I tried. Now I'm giving name proof 3.3. Okay, this is just for
correct.
default.
Mm,
Next, that's it,
and
right?
finish,
I'm clicking on
finish.
finish. See, I'm facing
Yes,
an
yes.
error. That is
Mm,
50. Sorry,
yes.
3.3.
Okay. But it is created. Ignore that error. But
That's
you will
okay.
see.
Actually, no,
Yeah,
I
so that is ignore that.
I don't know why it is created now. In the daytime I tried it, but I'm unable to.
Okay. Maybe path will be a little bit different. That's no issue. Now you can start.
And
Now you can start. You can see it will
uh,
start or not. Hey Raja, you are working or you are not working? You are working.
yes, Mahesh, working.
But then how you are handling here? You are working your work and everything. You are finishing classes also. Even I'm trying that, but I can't able to finish my classes and all because shifts.
Oh,
So
no problem.
yeah,
At least
it's,
in a day, 20 to 30 minutes, we will connect together so that we will discuss everything.
no, because where I am lagging, right? Continuously I'm going through Gautam classes. Then again I'm
Uh-huh.
preparing, and again I'm preparing my screenshots also. So it is taking more time. So I can't able to finish
Uh,
more
Actually,
fastly.
what
So
I'm doing now, I'm going through that recorded videos. I'm preparing notes in my understandable way.
okay,
I'm doing practice as well. See,
Yes, yes, okay, sir.
now what I will do,
Hmm.
just I will try to defederation. Okay,
Yeah.
that is also I'm unable to do. Defederation should be done through application server 3.
Go
This is
in
app
app
server
server
3.
3. Correct,
Uh,
correct.
this is
Now
application server 3. Now
give the command.
bin remove, right? This is
Remove
the
node.
command.
Correct, correct.
See what will happen.
Mhm.
Array
Okay.
error
It's done, right?
indicates error. Think error. Program existing error. Stopping all servers. It stopped all the servers. An error
Okay.
occurred during the node removal. The system cannot find the file specified. Defederation, whether it is happened or not, we can see here, right? If it is
Yeah.
defederated, then this should be removed.
Do
Node
one
3.
thing, Raja. To stop node, then you can do. First stop the node.
Node, right?
Okay.
Array.
Go in app server 3. Stop node.sh. Sorry. Stop node.bat. Yes.
Server status. Server node stop completed. Now
Yeah.
we'll
Now
try
we. Yeah. Now you
stop.
try.
What's that? Remove.
Raja, how you know Gautam? You both are friends or what?
No. Actually, previously in the previous batch, my friend went through it through
Okay.
this
Okay.
course, and in the present
Mm-hmm.
batch, Durga also there. Na, he's also my friend, Durga.
Okay. You are from
What
Raja?
you would? I'm from
You
actually
are
Kadapa,
Kadapa.
right?
Oh, Kadapa.
You?
అలాగే వచ్చిందా
You are from Mesh?
తిరుపతి దగ్గర వాళ్ళం
Oh,
వెళ్ళండి
Tirupati. Okay. Present ఏమైనా వర్కింగ్?
వర్క్ చేస్తున్నా ప్రజెంట్ ఆల్రెడీ ప్రొడక్షన్ వర్క్ చేస్తున్నాను నేను
అచ్చా,
సో
ఏ
ఇంకా
డొమైన్ ఏది?
ఇంకా డీప్ గా నేర్చుకోవాలని ఇదే వెబ్ స్పీరే
వెబ్ స్పీరేనా? ఓకే ఫైన్. ఇక్కడ చూడండి ఏమైంది, ఇది మళ్ళీ ఏదో ఎక్సెప్షన్ వచ్చింది. స్టాపింగ్ ఆల్ ద సర్వర్స్.
ఒకసారి ఇది మన యాప్ సర్వర్ బిన్ లోకి వెళ్ళండి మనం మామూలుగా బిన్ లోకి వెళ్తాం కదా పాత అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి చెక్ చేయండి ఉందా లేదా అని ఆ ప్రొఫైల్ లోకి వెళ్ళండి యాప్ సర్వర్ 3 అంతే పైన ఉంది ప్రొఫైల్స్ లోకి వెళ్ళండి ప్రొఫైల్స్ డేటా అంతా ఉంది సో యాక్చువల్గా ఇక్కడ డిలీట్ అయిపోవాలి
మనం దాన్ని అక్కడనే కాదు ఇక్కడైనా చూడొచ్చు. ఈ సర్వర్ ఈ నోడ్ 3 లో ఉండే ఇవి కూడా డిలీట్ అయిపోవాలి వన్స్ మనం అవి చేస్తాను.
ఒకసారి స్టేటస్ కొట్టి ఇక్కడ రైట్ సైడ్ లో పైన బంద్ అయ్యాయి బంద్ అయ్యాయి సో నోడ్ బంద్ లో ఉంది కాబట్టి ఇలాగే ఉంటది జేవిఎస్ బంద్ అవ్వాలి
అంటే ఇవి డిలీట్ కూడా అయిపోవాలి కదా ఆటోమేటిక్ గా.
డిలీట్ ఒకసారి పని చేయి ఆ రెండు బిన్ లో స్టాప్ చేసి చూస్తాం
ఏమి
ఇవి రెండు ఆ బిన్ లో సర్వర్స్ కూడా స్టాప్ చేసి ప్రొఫైల్ 3.3 అండ్ సర్వర్ 1
స్టాప్ చేయమంటావా?
ఇక్కడ బ్యాకెండ్ లో చేస్తావా ఇక్కడ కన్సోల్ లో చేస్తావా ఆ కన్సోల్ లో చేస్తే టైం ఎక్కువ పడుతుంది సరే కొట్టు కన్సోల్
స్టాపే కదా.
స్టాప్
యాక్చువల్ ఇది ఆటోమేటిక్ అవ్వాలి. సర్వర్ కెనాట్ బి స్టాప్డ్. నోడ్ ఏజెంట్ ఈస్ నాట్ యాక్టివ్. నోడ్ ఏజెంట్ అచ్చా నీడ్ టు స్టార్ట్ నోడ్ ఏజెంట్ ఆన్ సర్వర్ 3. ఓకే we stop node agent na, that's why it's not removed.
నోడ్ స్టాప్ లో ఉంటే
అవ్వదు కరెక్ట్. ఇప్పుడు అవుతుందేమో మేబీ. ఇప్పుడు రిమూవ్ అవుతాయి. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇక్కడ రిఫ్రెష్ చేస్తే అవ్వాలి. ఎక్కడ అవ్వాలి? అదే
ఓకే.
అండ్ ఆల్సో ఇది కాకుండా నా దగ్గర కొన్ని చాలా ఉన్నాయి సర్వర్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. డిలీట్ చేద్దామని ప్రొఫైల్ ను ట్రై చేశాను. ఇక్కడ
ఓకే.
చూడండి.
ఓకే. ఈవెన్ నేను కూడా అదే
ఇక్కడ
ఫేస్ చేస్తున్నా. ప్రొఫైల్ క్రియేట్
ఇక్కడ
చేస్తున్నాను. డిలీట్
ఈ 10,
పోవట్లేదు.
20 ఇవన్నీ నాకు అవసరం లేదు. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 10 ఉంది. 10 డిలీట్ చేయాలనుకుంటున్నాను. యాప్ సర్వర్ 10 అని. యాప్ సర్వర్ 10
దాంట్లో అన్ఇన్‌స్టాల్ అనే ఆప్షన్ ఉంది గానీ, అది చేస్తుంటే కూడా అవ్వట్లేదు. నేను కూడా చూసాను.
అదే ఎందుకో మరి. యాప్ సర్వర్ 10 ఇదిగో దీంట్లోనే ఉన్న యాప్ సర్వర్ 10 దీంట్లోనే. కమాండ్ వచ్చేసి స్టాప్. ఫస్ట్ నోడ్ ఏజెంట్ స్టాప్ చేసుకోవాలి. నోడ్ ఏజెంట్ ని స్టాప్ చేసాము. దాని తర్వాత అది కమాండ్ మనం చేయాల్సింది వాస్క్రిప్ట్ బిన్ లోంచి కదా, ఇక్కడ నుంచి కాదు. సర్వర్ స్టాప్ రిక్వెస్టెడ్ ఇష్యూ వెయిటింగ్ ఫర్ స్టాప్ సర్వర్ నోట్ స్టాప్ కంప్లీటెడ్. సర్వర్ అయితే స్టాప్ కంప్లీట్ అయింది. మీరు కమాండ్ నిన్న చెప్పారు చూశారు కదా,
అది కాదు.
అది మనం
మేనేజ్ ప్రొఫైల్ డాట్ ఎస్ఎస్ లోకి వెళ్తాం. మేనేజ్ ప్రొఫైల్ డాట్ లోకి వెళ్ళి ఐఫన్ డిలీట్ ఐఫన్ ప్రొఫైల్ నేమ్ ఇచ్చామంటే అయిపోతుంది.
అది ఇక్కడ నుంచి కదా వాస్క్రిప్ట్ బిన్ లో.
మేనేజ్ ప్రొఫైల్ డాట్ ఇక్కడ కూడా ఓకే.
ఇక్కడ అవ్వదు అనుకుంటా.
దీనిలోకి వెళ్ళి మేనేజ్ ప్రొఫైల్ డాట్ అక్కడ మేనేజ్ ప్రొఫైల్ ఉంది.
దీంట్లోనే ఉంటుంది. మనం అక్కడ టైప్ చేస్తే వచ్చేస్తుంది కమాండ్. అందుకు మేనేజ్ ప్రొఫైల్స్ డాట్ బ్యాట్ టు ఐఫన్ డిలీట్
ప్రొఫైల్ నేమ్
ప్రొఫైల్ నేమ్ స్పేస్
03
ఎస్ఆర్వి
ఎస్ఆర్వి 03
03 నా 10 నా 03 ఏదైనా ఒకటే. మనకి ఏది ఇచ్చినా డిలీట్ అవ్వాల్సిందే.
మీరు ఏదో ఒకటి
మనకి ఏదైనా ఏది ఇస్తే డిలీట్ అవ్వాలి
అంతేనా? కమాండ్ రాసుకున్నారా మీరు?
రాసుకొని ఉన్నా అంతే. మేనేజ్ ప్రొఫైల్స్ డాట్ బ్యాట్ వాస్ రూట్ బిన్ లోంచి ట్రై చేయమన్నాడు. మనము వాస్ రూట్ బిన్ లోనే కదా కమాండ్ కొట్టింది. వాస్ రూట్ బిన్ నుంచి మేనేజ్ ప్రొఫైల్స్ డాట్ బ్యాట్ ఐఫోన్ డిలీట్ ఐఫోన్ ప్రొఫైల్ నేమ్ అప్లికేషన్. ఐ థింక్ నిన్న అతనికి కూడా ఇది అవ్వలేదు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్. చాలా టైం పట్టింది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వడానికి. ఎట్లా నేనేందంటే ఇవి డిలీట్ చేద్దామంటే అసలు అవ్వలేదు. డీఫెడరేషన్ కూడా ఇది ఎన్ని రోజులకు అవుతుందో. ఇప్పుడు లొకేషన్ ఎక్కడ మహేష్ మీరు ఉండేది?
ముంబై రాజా. ముంబై.
నేను ముంబై. ఓకే.
అవునా? మీరు ఫస్ట్ లో మాట్లాడేది మీరేనా రాజా? పేరు అడిగింది.
అవునవును.
బేలాపూర్ నై ముంబై. ఒకసారి కలుద్దాం రండి.
100%. మాది లొకేషన్ వచ్చేసి ఏరోలి, వర్కింగ్ లొకేషన్.
అచ్చా ఓకే. ఏరోలినా?
ఇక్కడ లివింగ్ వచ్చేసి పలావా, కళ్యాణ్ దగ్గరలో.
నేను ఇక్కడ బేలాపూర్ లో ఉంటాను. రైల్వేలో ఉంటాం అన్నమాట. అక్కడ రెంట్ తక్కువ అక్కడ.
ఓకే. అక్కడేనా?
ఇక్కడే ముంబై ఇక్కడే ఉన్నా. బేలాపూర్ ఎస్బీఐ ప్రాజెక్ట్ తెలుసు.
ఓకే. వర్క్ ఫ్రమ్ హోమ్ ఆప్షన్ ఏమైనా ఉంటుందా మీకు?
లేదు, కంపల్సరీ ఆఫీస్ కావాలి.
ఓకే. ఇది ఎన్ని ఇయర్స్ నుంచి ఉన్నారు దీంట్లో? వెబ్స్పియర్
2.5.
ఓకే.
మీరు వర్కింగ్?
అవునవును. నేను ఇక్కడ అంటే టెక్నికల్ కాదు, మానిటరింగ్ దాని మీద ఉన్నాను.
డైరెక్టర్సా?
మానిటరింగ్ అప్లికేషన్ మానిటరింగ్.
డైరెక్ట్ స్కీమ్
హెచ్డిఎఫ్సి
అంటారు కదా.
హెచ్డిఎఫ్సి క్లయింట్.
ఓకే ఓకే. ఓకే ఓకే. అంటే మిడిల్ ఉంది కదా.
కాదు 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 అవునవును, ముందు వెబ్లాజిక్ ట్రైనింగ్ తీసుకున్నాను. అది ఏందో ఇంకా చూద్దాం ఇదైతే అని
ఓకే ఓకే.
దీంట్లో ఈసారి ట్రై చేయాలని గట్టిగా చూస్తా ఉన్నా. ఇక్కడ అయితే టెక్నికల్ లేదు కాబట్టి చేంజ్ అవ్వాలని అనుకుంటున్నా. హైదరాబాద్ కానీ బెంగళూరు కానీ అలా ఇవి కొంచెం బాగా నేర్చుకొని ఇక్కడ ఎక్కువ ఉండాలన్నా కష్టం.
అవును.
టికెట్స్ బుక్ చేసుకున్నారా సంక్రాంతికి?
లేదు, చేసుకోవాలి.
నేను లాస్ట్ మంత్ చేసిన. అసలు టికెట్స్ అప్పుడే అవి వెయిటింగ్ లో చూపిస్తా ఉన్నాయి. నాకు అప్పుడే ఆర్ఏసీలో చూపిస్తా ఉంటే చేసేసాను. ఇప్పుడు ఒక 10 days అయింది చేసుకుంటే. ఇది ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయ్యేటట్లేదు. ఇది మనం ఇది డిలేట్ చేద్దామని చూస్తే.
సరే రాజా, ఒక పని చేయి, నువ్వు మళ్ళీ పర్సనల్గా కాల్ చేయి ఆఫీస్లో.
ఖచ్చితంగా 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 మాట్లాడదాం. ఓకే ఓకే మహేష్.